Welcome in everybody to the TK Pod. My name is Tyler Kluver. I was once a Division I football player. I am now a podcaster, fitness coach, and CrossFit athlete, doing all of that as a husband and father of two. This show is an audio journal, a spot for me to vent or ramble about thoughts I have relating to fitness and health, my personal competitive aspirations, business, entrepreneurship, and more. I hope that each show can provide one small bit of value for you, the listener. Regardless, I'm glad you're here. Let's have a day. Let's go. 150, dyslexia, 135 days out. Part of me wishes it was 153. It's 135. It started closer to 150 when I put the countdown to the Monster Games up on my whiteboard. And there is already physical signs of what is to come with what the training side of this prep will look like. I feel good. I think mentally this entire episode, whether it be 12 minutes or 20 minutes, is going to be a little bit about fear. And maybe not necessarily fear, but motivation in the form of disappointment, which all wrapped into one could be a fear, a concern, maybe is a better word. Something to consider. But it's been about 2 weeks since we've officially qualified for the Monster Games and got that invite and are signed up. And that is basically, front and center, number one goal, number one priority outside of family and just living life. But, and I've already done a few workouts where, with the goal in mind, it changes things. I'm 6 minutes into a workout that could take 10 minutes or could take 12 minutes. And I can feel the hypothetical scenario of I transplant myself to Overland Park. Is it Kansas? I think it's Overland Park, Kansas. Transplant myself to the Monster Games 135 days from now. And there's other people chasing me. There's other people doing the workout next to me, advancing their bar, advancing to the next movement in the workout. The clock is ticking. And it's really easy to feel sorry for yourself in the garage when there's no one there. Even if you're working hard, even if you're going hard, those last 3 percentage points, because going 85 or 90% still hurts pretty bad. In true biological effort, if you reach 85 or 90% of what you're capable of, that hurts really bad. It's hard to touch that fire, is what I call it. It's hard to ride that line. Fly too close to the sun often. You're not going to be able to recover. It's a mental toll to get yourself up to go that hard. There is consequences. You get fitter as long as you're doing the right things and you're being smart, but it's hard to go that hard. And the truth is that I, in the pursuit of a competitive CrossFit career, probably, and a lot of people do, I've probably fallen short on touching that intensity enough. 2 weeks into this roughly 21-week prep, and I've touched that line 3 or 4 times already in the past couple weeks. And I will continue to find that depth of intensity. Uh, and the number one factor is simply that these names on the leaderboard, and it's cool. I was actually able to get on and see that now the all the entrants or the applicants or the qualifiers are finalized for the competition this summer. And so I know exactly the 30, 29, 30 other names that I'm going to be towing the line with. Look left, look right in July, and these people are going to be next to me. These people will have prepped in some fashion or another, in some volume or another for this competition over these next 135 days as well. About 150 days from the time we all accepted the invite. And the fruits of our labor will be revealed. Some people will get exposed, some people will be rewarded. And the game that I'm playing is, I sort of a unique qualifying spot, dead center. Qualified 15th out of 30 people. I will be the very middle of the qualifiers of this competition. You could argue that that means from number 1 to number 30, the skill level and fitness level of these 30 individuals, I sit dead center. That's the reality of the 5 or 6 workouts in the qualifier. Who knows if that is reality given an entirely new set of workouts. I am playing a fun game right now where I track all of the people who are signed up for the summer competition through the Open on a custom leaderboard. Spoiler, it's not going well for me so far through 2 weeks, which is even more motivation. And the game that we play is that these 30 individuals will all have the same amount of time leading up to July 24th to prepare as best they can to elicit some sort of outcome in that competition through 6 or 7 events probably. My goal is to outwork every single one of them. Is it reality for me to win the competition in July? I'm not going to say it's completely out of the question, but just being rational and logical and knowing who is signed up, which all but one person of the 14 people who qualified ahead of me are signed up for this. The top 4 being what I would call like heavy hitters. The top 4 being guys who are on the cusp of, they are 100% regional, like in-person semifinal level competitors, which I just am not. I'm on the next tier down. But they are currently, as of the qualifier, as of middle of February 2026, they are that level. Is it realistic to think that I could make up the ground on them in 5 months? Maybe not. Is it realistic to think that I can make up some ground on where they currently are and where I currently am? Can I move the needle more than they do relative to their starting position of fitness from basically right now until July? Yes. Current fitness level does not determine, in fact, probably inversely correlates to how much progress you can make in those 5 months. And much of that will be determined by simply how much can you lock in, make this competition a priority and do everything you can to recover, train, sleep, eat, breathe, recover, do it again towards one goal, and that is placing well at this competition. And all of this brings me to the spot where, and it kind of relates to those in garage moments that I've had already, where I feel them chasing me. I feel that competition coming. I know that they're in the garage training too, or in the gym training as well. How hard are they willing to push? Did they see my name on a leaderboard and think, this Tyler guy, he's going to be chasing me. I have to go harder. I have to find a way to outwork them. Not to win. I'll do my best, but I can't control how fit some of these dudes are. And let's be honest, it's pretty impressive, the top 3 or 4. But as a 15th place qualifier, what goals am I going to set for myself? What do I feel is attainable? And what will I deem as successful as a result of this competition later in July? And I'd like to play with the big dogs. I would like to be in that top heat by this final day on Sunday. I'd love if things lined up to push, you know, the middle of that top heat, 7th, 6th, 5th overall. I don't know if that's in the cards, but I'm going to do everything I can training wise to get there, including rest, sleep, recovery, nutrition. And I'm going to do my best to do it at a higher clip than all other 29 guys. And we'll see where the cards fall. Putting that amount of effort and importance on this singular competition that's a little over 4 months from now results in a couple things. One, there is not a large amount, but over those 5 months, there will be a small amount of sacrifice that my family has to make, that I have to make relative to other things I have going on, and my family has to make relative to maybe time that they could spend with me or I could spend with them. Um, the wife having to maybe pick up, you know, a few extra half hours here and there of watching the kids by herself while I'm training this summer, whatever it may be. Just extra stress added around the house, whatever that is. Maybe a day or two here and there where I physically don't feel good from training and I got to rest, and or mentally I'm just a little bit checked out and I need to just hang out on the couch. I can't, and I'm going to do my best again to mitigate that stuff as well and still give my undivided attention and energy to my children and wife, but you can't give 100% to, 12 different things in your life. And so that's one of the challenges that the dads of this competition have to face, right? I'm doing this in a different spot than some of these other kids. There's probably a few of these guys who they don't even have a girlfriend. I got a wife and kids and a house, and it's not an excuse. I signed up for it, but it just adds to the challenge. And so that motivation by, the best way to complete this mission, complete this journey, this goal of performing well and succeeding at this competition, doing as well as I can. I'm motivated by failing at that goal. I'm Again, I don't know if fear or scared is the right word, because in the end it's not that serious. But there is a fear of failure. There's a fear that I go to this competition and, "Oh, I've never done an individual competition. A lot of these guys were here last year. A lot of these guys have more experience with individual in-person competitions than me. Are these guys fitter than me? Did they out-train me over the last 5 months?" All this stuff. There's a fear that I go in and I take 23rd place and I finish lower than I qualified in, which would be a failure for me. I will feel like if I go and do that, even though there's really no difference between that and getting 7th place, I'll feel like I let the people down in my life and I let myself down by some form or fashion. I didn't train hard enough. I didn't stick to my diet well enough. I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't recover, blah, blah, blah. So I'm motivated by that. And that presents itself in effort during sessions, decisions made in the kitchen, all this stuff, and you hope that it pays off. It's a good exercise in enhanced dedication and discipline further than what I already do, you know, how I already live my life before this, which is already pretty dedicated and disciplined. So, all of that to say, to get on here and say I'm concerned. There's a through line of concern slash cautious, not cautious, but uh, fear, whatever you want to call it, that's going to carry with me through this competition. And I'm motivated by it. I don't want to be worse than the other guys. I want to be better. And I think that that's a theme, voluntarily putting myself in this position, caring about something so much, and then going and putting yourself on the line, being vulnerable. I think that's probably a good exercise for life. Putting yourself into a vulnerable situation, letting the chips fall where they may, giving an all-out effort regardless of what the results are going to be, facing a challenge, all probably good things to have in the toolbox of life. It's sort of what's rumbling around in my head right now. As far as the Open goes, week 2 of the Open, these are usually like open podcast things. But again, I'm so laser focused on the end goal for me, which is the Monster Games and not the Open, not quarterfinals, which maybe I should be more, but I feel like I'm doing as much as I can there. Week 2 came around. It was a fun workout. I placed nearly identically as far as relative to the leaderboard as I did on the first one. I did just 110 spots better. Placement on the first workout was 1,990th in the world. Placement on workout 2 this week was 1,880th in the world. I think the composite there, when you combine those through 2 weeks, I sit in like 1,355th in the world. And I look at both of those workouts and think, I should be able to do more. I didn't even redo the first one. Should have. Would like to see what my score there was on a redo. That would have brought me up the leaderboard a little bit. Second week, mostly a ring muscle up workout, and kind of what we're talking about here. Over the past several months, I did not put in the work on ring muscle ups that I needed to come out with a great score on this second week workout. And I redid it, got 12 seconds faster, but still not super happy with the score. Both placements on both workouts still top 2,000 in the world. Together, those have me like 100 spots outside of the top 1% in the Open. And those are placements individually and total right now that even just a couple years ago, I would have killed for in the Open. I'm not an Open athlete. I've said that many times. We've gone over why that is a thing and why quarterfinals is actually sort of a better round for me. In-person competitions, those style of workouts work better for my fitness. And I would have killed for top 2,000. Hell, till last year, I'd never even had I think I had one workout ever. One singular workout in all the Opens that I've ever done that was top 2,000. Last year I ended up getting two two scores individually top 2000 in the world. Now I have another two and I'm not satisfied. It's the game of always wanting more, always wanting better. I'd like to say that the 3rd week is gonna be a week that I like, you know? The first 2, the first 2 come out and it's like, well, volume squatting, wall balls, traditionally not a great movement for me, and ring muscle ups, the total linchpin of the second workout, not a great movement for me. I train with a truncated, ceiling situation in the garage, so I don't do a ton of ring muscle ups because it's just not doesn't work great procedurally. You'd like to say that week 3, "Hey, I'm gonna get one here," but it could be another thing that I don't feel like I'm great at. We'll see. I hope to be close to a top 1,000 score on this last one, hopefully bring my composite, my 3-week total up to a place where I can make, I'd love to be top 1,000 in the open in the world, even though that means nothing. And then, catch a little momentum and feel good 2 weeks later going into quarterfinals. But again, not the main goal. Fun to do, fun to see yourself on a leaderboard, but really just being used as motivation and fuel on the fire right now. If you got a chance, sign up for something scary. Give yourself a deeper motivation to not fail, to perform and lock in and dedicate. Give yourself discipline. It's good for the soul, I think. We'll talk next week after the Open is over, and I'll have a worldwide ranking. See you then.